G'day everyone. I thought I'd record this before I actually go and shave. I'm very hairy at the moment and it's annoying me. So as soon as I've done this, then first thing I'll do is go and do that. But anyway, did get a response from the last video that I made from Chance Paladin. So thanks, mate. And the question was, what was my aha moment in terms of prepping? It's funny, I got home this afternoon after being out there this weekend. I did go, as some of the shorts would suggest. Got out there, funnily enough, at about 2 o'clock. I was trying to send an email for work and it just wouldn't go. So I ended up shutting down, turning back on, trying again, and it still wouldn't go. So in the end, I rang my tech guy, who deals with all my internet stuff, and it was a funny conversation actually, because I've rang and he goes, and before even saying hello or who is this or anything like that, he just goes, the bloody server's down. And I said, oh, no wonder I can't send an email. He goes, yeah, he said, the whole server in Sydney's gone down. So apparently took out, well over 200 websites. So apparently I wasn't the only one in Australia who couldn't send an email. And he said, I don't know when I'm going to get it fixed. He said, hopefully it'll be back up and running by Monday. And I'm looking at the clock and it's 2 o'clock and I'm thinking, I just want to go bush. Which is what I told him, and he just laughed. He said, no, he said, go for it. He said, have a great weekend. So the next phone call was obviously to the person I was trying to send the email. I said, look, sorry. I said, I've been trying for the last half an hour. And I said, the damn thing just won't go. It wouldn't even send a hello. And I said, look, the first thing I'll do Monday morning is send this email. So that's what I'll do tomorrow morning, along with about 3 phone calls that I've got to make. So I went out there. I was out there by probably around about 3 o'clock. It doesn't take me long. I was pretty much already packed, and collected some firewood and that I knew was dry, and shoved it under cover because I knew the rain was coming. And then basically, without even doing anything else, just started finishing off the pantry, which I've now finished off, and it looks messy. I could have probably done it a lot neater, but it works and I used it, and yeah, it's not pretty, but I don't really care. I'm probably going to be the only person who ever looks at it, so it works and it does what I wanted it to do. Excuse me. So yeah, got that done, and then before I actually lit the fire, I had to clean the chimney because it's been smoking out my campsite. I did try to get, I wanted a wire brush, because the chimney's only probably that diameter. It's not very big, but I wanted to get a wire brush, like with actual wire bristles on it, similar to a toilet brush, and just sort of jam it in there and clean it. But apparently they don't make it that small, and certainly it's not available here. So I'm thinking next weekend I've actually got to go and grab a couple of things from Murray Bridge. So I probably won't go bush. I'll go and collect what I need to collect and do about 3 or 4 things while I'm there, because it's 130 k's from right here in my kitchen to Murray Bridge. So and that's just one way, by the way, so it's 260 k's. So I'll do that next Saturday and get all that stuff done. And I need to book my car in for a service, because apparently oil filters and oil changes, for oil changes, apparently is about to go giddy up, and it's going to be incredibly hard to get. So it's not just oil and fuel and plastics and everything else. It's everything associated with oil, including the manufacturing of oil filters and various other bits and pieces. So the car's probably ready for a service anyway. So I'll get that booked in tomorrow. That's one of my phone calls. While I was out bush, and even when I came back, because I saw the comment from Chance, but I never got a chance to actually deal with it. And it was, what's your aha moment? And it kind of got me thinking about the whole idea of prepping. And I have to seriously question whether I'm a prepper or whether I'm a camper. And there is a difference between the two. Because to a certain extent, I've been camping since I was really young. And I really started going out as soon as I got my license. Just went out there on my own. And I've never had a problem being out there on my own, like not a single issue. I mean, I've had issues where, the battery died, and so I called the RAA, and in the end, the RAA came out, but he came from a different direction that I was thinking he was coming from, and went up the wrong road. And I could see him, but I was 1.5 kilometres away from him, so I didn't have the time to get down there and actually tell him, you've gone through the wrong gate. We ended up getting it sorted. The property owner came out and fixed the battery, put a new battery in, and next time I went out there, I gave him a brand new battery, and it was done. Another night, I was out spotlighting, and a piece of wire went through the radiator. I was 2 kilometres away from where the road was, about 40 kilometres away from where the town was. So I got the car out to the main road, got as far down the main road, and the car just wouldn't go anymore. So I stopped, and he came out and fixed it, and it was good to go again. And so next time I came out, I gave him a gift, even though he didn't want it. But when people put themselves out for me, I repay the favour straight away. I don't like screwing around. I've been going out there for probably the better part of 30 years on my own. And it's really only been in the last since I actually moved here, that I've been going out there very regularly. And really once I got the trailer and set it up the way I wanted to set it up, because he'd sort of put the thought in my mind many years ago when I was going out there. He said, why don't you just put a shed out there? Like, just put a shed somewhere, and that way you can store your gear in there, and next time you come out, it's all ready to go. And I sort of took it to, rather than the shed, just do a trailer, and put a tent. So I did a lot of research with regards to the tent, and it ended up turning out to be an Oztent 32nd tent, which is like a triangle, I suppose. It's got a lot of room inside. And then initially the thought was to put an awning, just a pull-out awning on the side of the trailer, but that failed. I mean, it lasted for about 4 months, but one rainstorm ended up putting about 40 or 50 kilos of water on the damn thing, and of course it collapsed, and snapped the awning rod. So, and then it was up for the next idea, which was a 3 metre by 3 metre or 10 foot by 10 foot gazebo, which has a pitched roof. And I put that up there, and then put star droppers down by the legs, and it's all ratchet strapped. The thing ain't going anywhere. But then there was a lot of flapping. So, whenever, even a light wind, that you get that annoying flapping noise with the tarps and things like that. And so thus sort of turned the idea into winterizing it a little bit better, because, I mean, it's in a paddock. It gets hit by all the wind, all the rain, everything that you want to throw at it, it gets hit by it. And of course, I'm 50 odd Ks away from where the camp is. So it's not like I can go out there and check it every 5 minutes. So I needed to do something about it before winter came. And of course we haven't really had huge winter yet, but it's coming. So I thought, nah, bugger this for a joke. I'll do some stud work, do some wall frames, and then grab some insulation bats. And so I virtually stapled a tarp on the outside and some plastic wrap that I had on the inside and lined it all with insulation and tied it all down again. That thing ain't moving and it doesn't flap. And it's actually made the whole structure a lot stronger. So, I mean, these things are sort of reactionary, I suppose, to a certain extent. I mean, am I a prepper or am I just setting up somewhere that I go regularly? I don't know. I mean, have I got enough food out there? Yes. Have I got enough water out there? Yes. Could I live out there permanently? No, it's not my farm, so therefore no. But should the need arise? Probably yes. Is it a house? No. It's got air gaps in it. No matter what I do, it's not going to be a permanent, fully permanent house. But it's incredibly comfortable. Last night, sitting out there, I was hot. I mean, I was seriously getting hot. I think I was down to basically, I had a flannelette shirt on, I had no jumper on, and I had the flannelette shirt fully unbuttoned. It wasn't a good sight. But, I mean, that's how hot it was underneath my canopy. I've jammed insulation into a few of the air gaps. And even last, the 2 nights that I slept out there, I get so damn hot in the morning. I'm so hot in the morning, it's ridiculous. And that's only because my sleeping bag's rated to -10 and I don't go to bed. I go to bed fully dressed. The only thing I take off my shoes. So yeah, I'm quite warm, and I do wear gloves when I'm sleeping and a beanie when I'm sleeping. So, and I'm more than fine. So, although it's not a house, the addition of the toilet is just a godsend. I should have done it ages ago. Seriously. And it's part of the reason why I went out on the weekend, because I knew it was going to rain, and it did. It did rain, but only probably between midnight and about 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. We got about 5 mil, which isn't a lot, but it was enough. But I heard the rain, I think. Only realised it probably the next morning when everything was wet except for what was inside the camp. The entire inside of the 3 metre by 3 metre area was completely dry. Although the area is a bit smaller because the gazebo overlaps the tent a bit. I'd love to overlap it over the trailer, but the trailer's got 2 solar panels on it, which provides all the power. So I can't overlap the trailer, but I can overlap the tent. So the area is probably 2.5 metres by 3 metres, I suppose, which is more than big enough. It's got a table. I can put my 2-burner stove there. So it's got a fully functioning kitchen. I wash the dishes, in my plastic bowl. So, yeah, I'm not sure where prepping and camping sort of overlap, considering A, how long I've been doing it, and B, what is it actually for? Because I get a massive amount of enjoyment. I mean, I love it when the stars come out. I mean, it's astonishing out there. I mean, seriously astonishing. It makes you think a lot about life, and what life is really all about. It makes you consider everything about yourself. Especially when you're sitting out there alone and you've got the crackling of the fire going in the background and all the lights are off. Your night vision just comes alive. It's really deep. I mean, you really have nothing else to think of except for the things that really matter the most. And it's just energizing. It really is. I can't begin to tell you how much it means to me to have that camp. And as much as I do talk about prepping, and yeah, I've got stuff. It's virtually turned into a second house. As what it is. Everything I've got here, I've got out there, except for a washing machine and a shower. And an airtight house. But otherwise, it's when you've been camping and doing it exceedingly regularly, I don't know that you can call it prepping. I don't know what it is. It's really hard to sort of describe. I suppose if you look at it from the prepping side of things, I look at world events. I look at them all the time. I know what's coming. Everyone who looks at this stuff does. We wonder when it's going to happen. It's like it ain't like a Hollywood movie, and it certainly hasn't been. We know how bad things are getting. But by the same token, you can't live your life like that. I have two lives. I have one where during the week I live in a house and I go to work every day, and I've got to keep my clients happy because I've got to keep the work coming in. I've got to make sure I'm doing the right thing by paying my taxes, by paying my bills. All of that doesn't stop. It's just that on a Friday, unlike most people, I get in the car and I go bush. I cook my dinner out there. I cook my breakfast out there. I do my dishes, do all the things I do at home. Except at night time when I sit my chair outside camp, turn all the lights off, and just sit there and just watch the sky with the music playing in the background. Sometimes I'll turn the music off, listen to the sounds of the night. Often you'll hear owls out there, you'll hear the sheep going off. You watch the spotlights as people are out there doing it. I don't do that anymore, really. I've got all the gear for it, but I haven't done it for years. Been there, done that. Don't need to be doing it anymore. I'd rather see the roos in the morning. I'd rather see the rabbits running around. It's just, I think I've slowed down a lot. I just enjoy the quiet moments when you're alone and just with your own thoughts and your mind. And it'd be funny if somebody actually set up a bloody recording device out there, because I honestly talk to myself. If I didn't talk aloud, I wouldn't talk. I have rather deep conversations out there about everything, seriously about everything, because when you're in that environment and no one's there to comment or like or subscribe or do any of the crap that we do during the week, you really start to get deep. And there's a bit of alcohol involved, but I'm not a big drinker anymore. I'll go through a couple of scotches a night, and that'll be over 4 or 5 hours. It's certainly not because I'm drunk. It's something else. You realize how tiny you are. You realize how small you are. So in terms of the aha moment, I don't know that I can answer that. I really don't. Because like I said, I question whether it's just camping or it's prepping, because the two intermingle to a certain extent, but it's just my life. It's what I do. So I hope that answers your question, Chance. It probably doesn't. You know me. We talk often enough. So yeah, I'd love to hear what others think. I'd love to hear what was your aha moment? Or have you had one? Or do you even agree with what I'm talking about? I don't know. Tell me. Comment. Hit the like button. And watch through until the end. Most of you won't even get through 5 minutes. So that's what my analytics are telling me anyway. And yes, I can see everything. But anyway, hope you have a great day. I know you Americans, it'll be Sunday tomorrow, if it isn't already. For me, it's another start of a work week, Monday morning. So, time for me to go and have a shave, I think. It's getting itchy. I'll catch you later.